In a world drowning in notifications, endless meetings, and the constant ping of social media, there's one skill that separates the truly successful from everyone else. It's not intelligence, it's not talent, and it's definitely not the ability to juggle 15 tasks at once. It's something far more powerful and increasingly rare: the ability to focus deeply. Welcome to this exploration of Cal Newport's groundbreaking book, Deep Work. Over the next 20 minutes, we're going to uncover why deep focus has become the ultimate superpower in our distracted age, and more importantly, how you can develop it yourself. This isn't just another productivity hack. This is about fundamentally transforming how you work and what you're capable of achieving. Think about your typical workday. How much time do you actually spend in uninterrupted, focused work? If you're like most people, the answer might shock you. Between checking emails, responding to messages, attending meetings, and scrolling through social feeds, we've created a work environment that's the enemy of deep thinking. We've convinced ourselves that being busy means being productive. But Newport argues something revolutionary. We've got it completely backwards. So, what exactly is deep work? Newport defines it as professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive capabilities to their limit. These efforts create new value, improve your skill, and are hard to replicate. It's the kind of work that produces breakthrough insights, masterful creations, and career-defining achievements. Now, contrast that with shallow work, which Newport describes as logistical-style tasks, often performed while distracted, that don't create much new value and are easy to replicate. Think about answering emails, attending status meetings, or managing your social media presence. These activities feel productive because they keep you busy, but they're essentially professional busy work. Here's the harsh reality. In our economy, deep work creates real value, while shallow work creates noise. The person who can consistently produce high-quality, valuable work in less time will always outperform someone who's constantly busy but never truly focused. It's like the difference between a laser and a flashlight. Both produce light, but only one can cut through steel. Why has deep work become so crucial? We're living through what economists call the Great Restructuring. The rise of digital technology and global connectivity has fundamentally changed what skills are valuable. In this new economy, three groups will thrive: those who can work well with intelligent machines, those who are the best at what they do, and those with access to capital. For most of us, success depends on joining the first two groups. And here's the key insight: both require the ability to quickly master hard things and produce at an elite level. Whether you're learning to code, mastering data analysis, or developing expertise in your field, you need deep work. Complex skills aren't learned through casual engagement. They require sustained, focused effort that push your brain to form new neural connections. Newport points to research showing that to learn complex skills quickly, you need to focus intensely on the specific skill you're trying to improve. This isn't just about putting in hours, it's about the quality of those hours. 1 hour of deep, focused practice is worth more than 3 hours of distracted effort. But here's where most of us go wrong. We've bought into the myth of multitasking. We pride ourselves on juggling multiple projects, responding to emails while in meetings, and keeping dozens of browser tabs open. We think this makes us more productive, but neuroscience tells us the opposite is true. Your brain doesn't actually multitask. What it does is rapidly switch between tasks, and every switch comes with a cost. Researchers call this attention residue. When you switch from task A to task B, part of your attention remains stuck on task A. The more you switch, the more residue builds up, and the worse your performance becomes. Alam, think about the last time you tried to write an important document while checking your phone every few minutes. How did that work out? The quality probably suffered, it took longer than expected, and you felt mentally drained afterward. That's attention residue in action. The good news is that focus isn't a fixed trait you're born with. It's a skill that can be developed, much like building muscle at the gym. Every time you resist the urge to check your phone, every time you push through mental fatigue to stay focused on a difficult task, you're strengthening your concentration muscle. But just like physical training, you need a systematic approach. Newport outlines 4 different philosophies for integrating deep work into your life, and the key is finding the one that fits your situation and personality. The monastic philosophy involves eliminating or radically minimizing shallow obligations. Think of authors who disappear for months to write their novels, or researchers who isolate themselves to focus on breakthrough discoveries. This approach maximizes deep work but requires the ability to step away from other responsibilities. The bimodal philosophy divides your time between periods of deep work and periods of everything else. You might dedicate certain days of the week or certain hours of each day exclusively to deep work. The rest of your time is open for meetings, emails, and other shallow tasks. The rhythmic philosophy, which Newport considers most practical for most people, involves establishing a regular habit of deep work. You work deeply at the same time every day, turning focus into a routine rather than something you have to decide about each time. Finally, the journalistic philosophy involves switching into deep work mode whenever you have free time. This requires significant practice and isn't recommended for beginners, but experienced practitioners can drop into focused work almost instantly. Whichever philosophy you choose, the key is creating rituals and routines that support deep work. Your brain has limited willpower, so you want to eliminate as many decisions as possible. Decide in advance where you'll work, when you'll work, how long you'll work, and what you'll work on. Some people work best in complete silence. Others prefer background music. Some need a clean, minimalist environment. Others work well surrounded by organized chaos. The specific details matter less than consistency. When you have a ritual, you're not wasting mental energy deciding how to work. You're channeling all that energy into the work itself. One of the biggest obstacles to deep work in our modern world is social media and digital distraction. Newport makes a controversial but compelling argument. Quit social media entirely, or at least dramatically reduce your usage. These platforms are designed to be addictive, to fragment your attention, and to make you crave constant stimulation. Here's a simple test Newport suggests. Identify the main high-level goals in your professional and personal life. Then, for each social media service you use, ask yourself whether it has a substantially positive, substantially negative, or little impact on your ability to achieve these goals. Be honest. For most people, the answer is either negative or negligible. But reducing digital distraction is only part of the solution. You also need to embrace boredom. In our hyper-connected world, we've lost the ability to be alone with our thoughts. The moment we feel unstimulated, we reach for our phones. This constant stimulation is rewiring our brains to crave distraction and making deep focus increasingly difficult. Newport suggests scheduling internet use rather than scheduling breaks from the internet. Decide in advance when you'll check email, browse the web, or use social media. Outside of these scheduled times, stay offline. This might feel uncomfortable at first, but that discomfort is your brain learning to tolerate boredom and building its capacity for sustained attention. Another crucial strategy is what Newport calls draining the shallows. Look at your current work and honestly categorize each activity as either deep or shallow. Then, systematically reduce the shallow work. This might mean batching email responses, declining unnecessary meetings, or learning to say no to requests that don't align with your core objectives. Time blocking is particularly effective here. Instead of working from a simple to-do list, assign every minute of your workday to a specific activity. This forces you to be realistic about how long tasks actually take and helps you protect time for deep work. When someone asks for a meeting during your blocked deep work time, you can honestly say you're not available. The goal isn't to eliminate all shallow work. That's impossible for most jobs. But you want to minimize it and batch it together so it doesn't constantly interrupt your deep work sessions. Maybe you check email only at 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. Maybe you have one day per week dedicated to meetings and administrative tasks. As we near the end of our exploration, let's talk about why this all matters. Deep work isn't just about productivity, it's about meaning and satisfaction. When you work deeply, you enter what psychologists call a flow state. Time seems to disappear, self-consciousness fades, and you become completely absorbed in the task at hand. These are often the most satisfying and fulfilling moments of our professional lives. Moreover, deep work is becoming increasingly valuable economically. As artificial intelligence and automation handle more routine tasks, the ability to do complex, creative, high-value work becomes the key differentiator. The person who can think deeply, solve complex problems, and produce exceptional work will always be in demand. Newport argues that we're facing a great restructuring of the economy, and those who can work deeply will thrive, while those who remain mired in shallow work will struggle. This isn't just about individual success. It's about remaining relevant in a rapidly changing world. The competitive advantage of deep work extends beyond just getting more done. When you work deeply, you produce higher quality output. You make fewer mistakes. You have more creative insights. You develop expertise faster. These advantages compound over time, creating a significant gap between deep workers and their distracted colleagues. But perhaps most importantly, deep work allows you to do work that matters. Instead of spending your days responding to the urgent demands of others, you can focus on what's truly important. You can make progress on projects that align with your values and goals. You can create something meaningful rather than just staying busy. As we conclude this journey through Cal Newport's deep work, I want you to reflect on your own relationship with focus and distraction. How much of your day is spent in truly focused work versus shallow busy work? What would be possible if you could double or triple your capacity for deep work? The path forward isn't about working more hours. It's about working more deeply during the hours you do work. It's about recognizing that in a world of infinite distractions, the ability to focus is both rare and valuable. It's about understanding that clarity comes from subtraction, not addition. Clarity about what matters provides clarity about what does not. Your challenge, should you choose to accept it, is to start small, but start today. Pick one of the philosophies we discussed. Design a simple ritual for deep work. Reduce one source of digital distraction. Embrace a moment of boredom instead of reaching for your phone. Remember, you don't need to work more. You need to work deeper. In a world that profits from your distraction, choosing to focus deeply is both a competitive advantage and an act of rebellion. The question isn't whether you can afford to develop this skill. The question is whether you can afford not to. The future belongs to those who can think clearly, work deeply, and create value in an increasingly complex world. That future can be yours, but only if you're willing to do the deep work required to claim it.